Well, I mean, it's fair to point out we're still suffering the aftermath of our own psychodrama.
Here we have Tory boy Freddie Kruger. Danny Kruger, Prue Leith's son, and probably one of the only members of the group the New Conservatives left, talking about whether or not the Conservatives are really the best party to be in opposition.
And we're healing that in the course of a very, well-mannered and actually quite interesting leadership election at the moment. But it's true to say, we don't have the next leader is not yet chosen. And we need to take the fight to Labour throughout. We are doing that. And actually this week it was good to see the Lib Dems joining us in opposing Labour's policy on the winter fuel policy.
Yeah. Are they the bigger threat or is reform?
Not. Well, actually both. And I'm afraid to say voters deserted us to both parties, largely for the same reason, is that we weren't delivering. So we've got to cope with both threats. My problem with Lib Dems as an opposition is that they're not one. They basically agree with Labour. Their overall analysis is right. We've just heard it. They just want to throw more money at an unreformed public sector. They'll support all the tax rises that Labour are going to bring in. They're not going to reform welfare. They're not going to invest in defence. So all the things that Labour want to do, you'll get the Lib Dems supporting them. The Conservatives need to organise ourselves and oppose this terrible government properly, which is, what we're trying to do now. But once we get a new leader, Robert Jenrick, then we'll get
That's who you're backing. Before I let you go, Wendy, from Ash, do you think it will be the Liberal Democrats who will hold Labour's feet to the fire, or, as Danny is trying to demonstrate here, the Conservatives?
Here's left-wing commentator Ash Sarkar with some helpful suggestions.
Look, right now it kind of seems like, every leading Conservative is turned inwards. I don't think they're saying much to the public. And, many of your leading lights, they may as well be in witness protection. I've not really seen anything they've been doing publicly because they're so concerned with shoring up their faction and their base within the party. In terms of how to take the fight to Labour, Labour obviously have an overwhelming majority in the Commons. They can pretty much pass any bit of legislation they want. When it comes to popularity in the polls and when it comes to the fact that this huge majority wasn't based on this, massive victory in terms of the popular vote, that puts them in a vulnerable position. One reason why I think that the Conservatives are likely to make a mistake is that there are lots of voters to be had who are economically left-wing and socially right-wing. Now, I'm economically left-wing and socially left-wing, right? Which means that there's 5 people who agree with me. Oh. But there's an awful lot of people who tilt in the other direction. You're competing with Labour and Reform and the Lib Dems for votes. And what my suspicion is that the nature of Conservative Party arguments is that you're pitching to the party and you're pitching to a membership who aren't representative of that massive body of voters out there. If you did go economically left-wing, socially right-wing, I imagine Labour would be quite scared of it. But I imagine you're just going to do...
Do you think the Tories are capable of holding Labour to account? Or would the Lib Dems be better? Comment below. Click here to remember the New Conservatives.